Welcome back. So happy to have you here to learn and practice. This week, you will learn an Egyptian popular song. You will learn some simple embellishments and maqam ajam, which is like a scale in Arabic music. Let's explore. We are going to learn a popular Egyptian song. The title of the song is Taliat Yama Ahla Nuraha, which is in Arabic and it means it came out beautiful light. But just to make our communication easier during the lessons, let's call it The Sun Rises. The song was composed by Egyptian composer and songwriter Seyed Darwish. His songs resemble Egyptian folkloric songs and people. The Sunrises got really famous when the Lebanese singer Fairuz sang it. The song describes the farmer who goes out of his house in the early morning and watches the sun lightening the sky. In Arabic music, a maqam is a system of melodic modes or a set of notes that gives the music certain characteristics. What I'm about to play for you is called maqam ajam, and I'm going to start it on the note D. We are learning an Arabic music maqam. The name of this maqam is ajam and it is made out of jins. Jins is a scale fragment that is the building block of every maqam. Maqam ajam usually starts with the note C and has three jins. But it's typical in Arabic music to change the key for singers, depending of if they're female or male, to accommodate their singing range. So here we are starting it on the note D, and we follow the intervals on Maqam Ajam. The first jins, or a scale fragment, is called jins Ajam and has five notes which closely resembles the first five notes of a Western major scale. So if we started on D, we would have D, E, F sharp, G, and A. The second jins is called opera jam and has other notes of a typical D major scale. So we have A, B, C sharp, and D. On the descending, when we are coming back the scale, the third jins comes, and which is called jins nehavand. And the C sharp turns to C natural. That's the difference between the upper ajam and the jins nahavand. Now, the rest of the notes in the as descending scale is the same as ascending. So we have B, A, G, F sharp, E, and finally D. So let's explore these notes on our fingerboard, and then we're going to talk about more scales when we are playing this scale. So we're starting on D, D open, then first finger on D string, which is E. F sharp is separated from E, and then G comes next to F sharp. I suggest that you keep your fingers down when you're playing to the third finger. So 1, 2, keep the 1 down, and then 3 next to 2. Then we play A string, then first finger is B, C sharp, we are in upper ajam, so we need the C sharp here, separated from first finger, and then D next to C sharp. We have a half a step here. So make sure, again, you keep your first, second finger down when you're playing the third finger. When we are coming back, however, we're gonna extend our second finger back to get it close to the first finger to play the C natural. So first note is D, then C natural. We have a half a step here between the B and the C natural. Then we have B, A. Then we drop 2 and 3 on D string to play G and F sharp. We have a half a step here. And then E, and finally the note D. Now, it's very important that when we are playing this scale, we try as much as we can to get a sustaining notes and the smooth transition between the notes. So let's see if we can kind of start a little bit above the winding. This is the winding of the bow. Let's just start a little bit above that and see if we can just play until here. So this is in the upper half of our bow, and let's avoid the tip of the bow. So something like this. I suggest that when we are doing the scale backward, when we are doing the descending scale, you pay very good attention to your second finger, that you extend it before you get to the note. So while you're playing the D, you need to extend the second finger back and have it ready on the C natural. Let's practice this together. So let's walk up our fingers on A string. 1, 2, 3. Let's have the C sharp. Ready? Okay. Now, before we start playing the D, I want you to extend your second finger back to the first finger. Are you ready? Let's extend back. Goes to C natural. Let's extend it forward again, C sharp. One more time, make sure your thumb is relaxed. C natural, and let's play now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, let's repeat it one more time. So walk up your fingers, 1, 2, C sharp, and 3, D. I'm bringing my violin down that you can see my fingers, but please don't hold your violin and try to keep it straight and parallel to the floor. Okay, so this is D, third finger. Now, before we play, let's extend second finger back to form C natural. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. The first 5 notes of the Maqam Ajam is the same as the D major scale. The only thing that I really want you to pay attention to is when you're dropping your second finger to play F sharp, make sure the third finger comes next to it and this first and second finger are still down. We will practice on these skills in the next chapter. Let's practice the maqam ajam starting from D. So before we start, make sure you hold your violin straight. It's parallel to the floor. Make sure your left hand is relaxed and tap your thumb a couple times. Nice. And your left hand looks like a beautiful waterfall. Now, let's check our bow hold. Make sure everything is curved. Your pinky is curved on top. Your thumb is curved under. Nice. And try to keep your wrist very relaxed and also the elbow and your forearm. Okay, so we're going to play the first jins of Maqam Ajam, which is the notes D, E, F sharp, G, and A. So let's put the bow on the D string. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Let's repeat it one more time. And what I really like you to pay attention to is to hold the 1 and 2 while you're playing the third finger. Ready? Bow on the string a little bit above the winding of the bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep 1 and 2. Cross. Excellent. Now let's practice the second jins, which is the upper ajam. This starts from note A, B, C sharp, and D. So make sure there is a space between 1 and 2, and there is a half a step between 2 and 3, C sharp and D. Are you ready? So let's set the bow on A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Again, let's repeat it one more time and try to keep your first and second finger down while you're doing the third finger. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. First finger down, second finger down. Excellent. Now, let's start again from this A, going up to the D, to the note D, third finger. And then when you're walking back, I really want you to see if you can extend your second finger back to C natural, all right, while you're playing the third finger. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. C sharp, D, extend back second finger, D, C natural, B. Excellent. Let's repeat this one more time. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C sharp coming, D, extend back second finger, D, C natural, B, and A. Excellent, very good job. The rest of the notes are the same as when we were playing the ascending scale. So let's practice the whole scale now. Are you ready? Bow on the string a little bit above the winding. Try to do a very light bow. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp, G, cross the string, B, C sharp, third finger, extend back second finger, D again, C natural, B, A, cross the string, F sharp, E, and D. Very good job. Maqam Ajam is the building block for the Egyptian song The Sun Rises. It is the Arabic system that most closely resembles the Western music's major scale. Well done for showing up to practice, and try to practice this couple more times because later we will use it to learn more skills. We are working on the song The Sun Rises, and this song is in AABA 4, which means that we play an 8 measure phrase and then we repeat that phrase. That makes it AA. Then we do a new 8 bars or measures of a phrase and then we repeat the first phrase of the song. Let's focus on the first phrase of the song since we are playing it 3 times. The first measure starts with a pickup measure, and we start the first note F sharp up bow. This will make it easier for our right hand to play the following notes as organic as possible. I suggest that we start this up bow, the first note, a little bit in the upper half and a little bit above the middle of the bow. So if this is the middle, let's go a little bit, couple inches up, and let's start it here. This way we have a space to play more comfortably. So let me play for you how I start the first note. Watch. I put my bow on the string a little bit above the middle of the bow. I set my fingers E and F sharp, and I know the direction of the bow is up. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One more time. Please pay attention to how much bow I'm using when I'm playing these 3 notes. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So after the first note, we are playing the note E, and this is the first finger. Make sure you have the first finger down on on D string before you even start the song. So when you set your fingers, put the E, then F sharp, and then start, and keep the first finger down. This will give you a consistent intonation on the E. We are using the détaché bow strokes to play the song. So make sure that you are drawing your bow smoothly for every note, and the bow changes are also connected and smooth. We have 3 quarter notes and then we have 4 8 notes. We should practice this chunk for our right hand. So let me do it and watch. Again, middle of the bow, I go a little bit above, set 1 and 2, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 8 quarter. One more time. These are the 8 notes. Let me show you. I'll bring my violin down that you can see. So I'm using this much bow, but I'm trying to play as smooth as possible. These are 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Now the whole phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so it will help if you make sure that for quarter notes you're using this much and for 8 notes you're using less. In measure 3 of the song, we have the note A, and we are using our first finger on G string to play. So G open, and then when we put our first finger down, this is A. Now, getting a good sound on lower strings is a bit challenging. To get a good sound, you should be aware of your right hand level and also how you drop your finger on G string. Let me show you. So when we started, we were on D string and we were here. Now, we play all those notes and we want to play the A on G string. See, immediately my right hand came up and now it's parallel to the floor. So this was my D string level. This is my G string level. You see, I bring my elbow a little bit up. You don't have to overdo it, but a little bit of attention upward will help your right hand to get a very clear sound. Let me show you. So the last two notes of the second measure is D and D, and I'm playing the A. Again. You see, it's very small, but it's very effective. Listen again. It's a little bit. But here's the thing. Right after playing that A, first finger on G string, we need to go back to the D string. Watch. One more time. You see, it's very quick, but it should be very smooth. So see if you can practice this on D and G string opens. Listen. Okay? That way, when we are playing the actual notes, our right hand and left hand is coordinated. To get a very smooth and nice sound in this song, we really need to pay attention where we are using our bow. I suggest that you avoid the very tip of the bow and also the frog of the bow for this song. Let's just stay in the middle, kind of a bigger middle part of our bow. This is a very well balanced part of the bow, and also it gives you enough space to play quarter notes, eighth notes, and also half notes whenever you need it. The next spot is coming in measure 6 going to measure 7. We are playing 5 notes on D string, 4 of them are 8 notes, 1 is quarter note, then we cross and play A, first finger on G string on G string. And then we cross on A string and we play A open. That's a big leap and we should have some kind of a strategy to go there. Otherwise, it will sound like this. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, it sounds like an attack and it's very distracting. To avoid it, let's practice it this way. So first let me play if I don't, if I actually prepare my hand for playing that note. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see it's very smooth and there is no attack and it's not distracting. So to practice it, I suggest we practice it on open strings. So we play 4 8 notes on D, then quarter note on D, then G open, and then we lower our elbow to get to A while we are playing the G string. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Watch my elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, I'm moving to the A position in my right hand ahead of playing the note. Now, another way to practice it is to add the element of a stop, which is very important and it can help you to kind of think and plan a strategy. So I'm adding the notes to the kind of pile. Listen, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop, G, cross to A. Nice. Let's do it one more time, and this time we minimize the space we give in between. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Now, let's actually go to the tempo that we are practicing, and let's remove those stops and see if we can lower our right hand ahead of getting to A string. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Lower. Very nice. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, down. Very good job. Let's practice the A section, or the first phrase of the sun rises together. Now, we have the first two measures. We have a rhythm of quarter, 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 8, 8, 8, 8, quarter, quarter. Let's practice this on D open, that we can practice our détaché strokes, and when we add the notes, we have a very smooth transition between every note. All right, so let's hold our violin up, make sure it's parallel to the floor. Check your bow hold, make sure all the fingers are curved and the wrist is relaxed. And tap your left thumb a couple times. Nice. Now let's set the bow a little bit above the middle on D string, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 8 notes. Quarter, quarter. Nice. Now let's put the notes in. So first finger, second finger, F sharp, and make sure you keep the first finger down when you start the song. Are you ready? Set the bow down a little bit above the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Excellent. Now, let's do it one more time and see if you can kind of keep track of how much you're using for the quarter notes and how much you're using for the 8 notes. Ready? Set the bow down, prepare fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Excellent job. Now, let's move on to the next part of the music, that we are going from D string to G string and then back to D string. Before we add the first finger, the note A, let's practice it on open strings, okay? So we play 2 D open, then G open, and then D open. Ready? Keep your elbow a little bit higher between D and G string, that you can quickly go between them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. D, D, G string, D string. Nice. Now, let's add the note A, first finger on G string, and I want you to drop the first finger when I say drop. It might be a little bit out of tune, but worst case scenario, it's going to be out of tune or it's not going to sound good, and we are doing it again. All right? Let's do that. Ready? Bow on the string on D string. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. D. Drop. One more time. D string. Set the bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. D. Drop. Excellent. Now, the third place that we have a big leap from G string to A string is between the measure 6 to going to 7. So let's practice 6 and 7 separately on the open strings. So let's drop down the tempo and go half tempo so that we have time to think. So we are playing the 4/8 notes on D, then quarter note on D, then G, and then we play A open. Ready? 3 and 4 and D, G, A. Nice. So if you pay attention, I was moving my elbow down. See if you can do that. So we're doing it again, and make sure when you're playing the G string, you're bringing your elbow down to be ready to play the A string. Ready? 3 and 4 and D, 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 D. Go to G, drop elbow. One more time. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and G string, drop elbow. Again, 3 and 4 and D, G, drop elbow. Nice. Now, let's go back to the original tempo that we were practicing and see if it works. So it needs to be quick and you need to prepare your elbow ahead of the time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 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 G, drop elbow. Very nice. Now let's put the notes in and see how it sounds. But make sure when you're going to G string, you drop first finger on G string to play the A. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop A. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop A. Excellent. Let's do it one last time and see if we can do a better job of dropping our elbow to prepare for A string. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop. Excellent job. We work on the détaché stroke using a rhythm from The Sun Rises. We practice a string crossing between two closest strings like D and G, and also far strings like G to A. If you think these are challenging to do well, I agree. I'm happy that we started working on them and confident that with practicing them soon, you will feel comfortable with these skills. I'm fascinated with sounds. Sometimes I enjoy playing an open string in different ways. I can play it short or long. Then I can listen to its vibration. This reminds me of what got me to play music and be eager to share it with others. Even helps me stay motivated to practice my music. We can affect how people around us feel with the sound of our music, and that is fascinating. We're working on the B section of The Sun Rises. The first challenge that we are facing is actually going from A part to B part. So at the end of the A part, we have a D open and we are playing a down bow. Now the first note of measure 9 that we play in B section is actually down bow as well. That's the F sharp that we play. So let me show you how I play it and then we talk about how to practice it. You see, I managed to play both notes down bow. So when I'm finished with the D, which is 2 beats, it's a half note, I I just lift very slightly and do an oval shape or maybe semicircle, but this is smaller than that. So I just lift and place my bow very gently on the string to start another down bow. Let me show you. Again. The next part that kind of gives us some challenge is comes in measure actually 9 and 10. We are dealing with 8 notes, and this is just the beginning of a B section, and we want to make sure that we have time to kind of explore and also expand. So we don't want to just reveal everything, all the techniques we have and all the ideas we have in the first 2 measures. We want to hold it a little bit, maybe later we have a climax or something very interesting coming up. So we have a series of 8 notes, and these are starting with second finger on D string, going up and down. Listen. I suggest, if you can, use your fourth finger for these passages. It's very good to practice fourth finger whenever you can, and this is a good passage to practice it because that way you will stay on the D string and you don't have to cross to A string and back. That's another challenge. So we can pick our battles. If you want to be challenged, you can be challenged on fourth finger, or you can cross to A string and back multiple times. I will show you both ways. So to play the fourth finger on this, I suggest that you definitely keep your third finger down. So we play F sharp. I bring my violin down that you can see better. G, and then A. I suggest when you're dropping your fourth finger, you release your first finger, that it's a little bit easier to drop your fourth finger down. And make sure your thumb is not back. It should be kind of between your first and second finger, and it should be relaxed. So basically we are not using our thumb to do anything, help us. It's just there kind of being a passenger. At some point we will start using the thumb, but now it's not the time. So make sure you're keeping it relaxed, and you can always tap it a couple times. So we play F sharp, third finger, first finger up, third finger, second finger. Again. Now, in the music, we have we go twice to the fourth finger, and then the third time we stop in fourth finger and then we play open D. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You see how kind of very orderly it gets when you stay on one string. You're challenging yourself with the left hand, not the right hand. Now let me show you if I cross and play A string. And you feel free to use any of these two as you like. Here, I'm just using my right hand and I'm staying between the 2 strings. You can practice it with playing the open D, open A, and then see if you can engage both strings and play them at the same time. Very light in the right hand. Now, keep your elbow right there, so not A, not D, in between. And then kind of bring your the forearm a little bit higher to play the D string and a little bit lower for A string. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. So this is the way that I suggest you practice. Either way you like to do fourth finger or open string. It's up to you. The next spot that comes, and it's kind of might be not too difficult, but since we have actual the crossing of the strings and it needs to be very precise and quick, we need to pay attention to it. It comes in measure 13. We are starting on third finger on D string, and this is the passage. So we play third finger, then cross to A, and then here we play a couple of sequences. So we play B, A, G, F, and then A, G, F, E. I suggest, if you like, you can use fourth finger for the third A in this passage. Watch. Rest. Fourth finger. 3, 2, 1. Now with open. Rest. So either way, it is going to sound beautiful. I suggest you stop between changing the string. So I practice it this way. Or if you stay and play the fourth finger, it will look like this. You see, the second one, when you play that one note fourth finger, it will kind of keeps you on D string, and you might have the easier way to finish the passage. Now, it's very important that for the most of the B section and the first measure of our song, we have the first beat is a rest. It's very important in this song, which is an Egyptian popular song, and there are other songs or pieces that there might be a quarter note rest in the beginning of the measure. This is kind of the music of silence is very important as well. We tend to kind of go to the first beat of every measure for dance music and so forth. So here we really want that silence. We really want to get the audience attention for a split second, and we want them to think what happened, and then we present them with good music. Let's practice the B section of the Sunrises together. The first thing we're going to focus on is actually how to go from A section to the B section, that retake that we talked about, and playing 2 down bows. So we're going to start on the last measure of A section, but let's practice it first, doing that retake on an open string. So pick any string you want. I'm going to play it on D since our passage is on the D string. So let's play a half note, then a small oboe, you see, there is no noise when I put the bow down. I do it very gently, and I put the hair on the string because I want to start from the string. I don't want to have any drop noise. So let's try it on a half note, and then we rest for 1 beat, that the rest we have in measure 9, and then we play 8 notes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Half, rest. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half, rest. Very nice. Now let's add the notes and we play the last measure of A section moving on. Let's appreciate that one beat of rest that we have on measure 9. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Half rest. Very nice job. Now, I really like us to start on measure 9 and let's think rest on the first beat and then move forward, okay? If you're using fourth finger, try to release your first finger when you're playing the fourth finger and also make sure your thumb is relaxed on the left hand and it's not squeezing the neck. Are you ready? Put the bow on the string in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Very nice. Let's repeat it one more time. As much as you can, keep your right hand light and just play with the kind of the size of the bow that you're using. If you see a crescendo, which means that we're gradually making the music a little bit louder, so just follow with that and see if you can get a little bit bigger as you move forward. And when we have a decrescendo, which to gradually get softer, see if you can do the other way. Ready? Bow on the string, second finger ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Very nice. Now let's practice this next two measures. Here we are crossing on A string and we have forte dynamic. So this is our climax. This is the climax of the song. So let's see if we can use a little bit more bow and keep it into the string and every note should be connected. Ready? The first note is up bow, first finger on A string. That's the B. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Very nice. As much as you can, keep the bow in this string and see if you can use kind of a little bit bigger size of the bow. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Excellent. Now, the next part, measure 13 and 14, is the part that I think is a little bit difficult. So let's just slow it down and play it really, really slow, and then we play it on the faster tempo. Ready? So place your third finger on D string, and this is our tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest. Nice. Let's practice this again, but we're going to do it in a faster tempo. Ready? Third finger on D string. Make sure you're doing a very smooth crossing and keep your elbow a little bit between the two strings. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Fourth finger. I like to do this one more time with you, and the reason for it is that retake that we have in end of measure 14 going to 15, see if you can do a very quick oval shape retake and place the bow on the string gently to start the next note, D. Ready? Third finger on D string. This is measure 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 2, 1, oval. Half Very good job. Congratulations. In this lesson, we work on a very quick retake. We practice how to appreciate a quarter note rest, and we practice how to keep our elbow between two strings. Remember that it's not just how much you play your instrument, it's how you carefully practice. You can use these skills that you learn in these lessons to break down whatever music you're learning. Keep practicing. In Arabic music, performers embellish the melodies they play. This can be very simple or complicated, depends on their level and their taste. Let's see what we can do in our song to add a little bit of flavor to it. Personally, if I'm playing a melody twice, like something like this song A, B, A, I prefer to play the first time without embellishment and let my audience hear the melody. Then the second time, I add those embellishments or the flavors and it sounds brand new to them. So the first thing we can do in our song is in measure 1. So we are playing very simple three notes, three quarter notes. Listen. How about we add a little something at the end of the first quarter note, the F sharp. Listen. Again. So at the end of that quarter note, I just go one note up, come back to the same note, F sharp, and then go to the next quarter note, which is E. Now, notice what I'm doing with my right hand. This is the original. Now with ornament. So basically my right hand is doing the same thing as if I'm playing the original, but I will let my left hand take care of the embellishments. The second opportunity we have is in second measure. We are playing 4/8 notes. How about we add little something to the second E, the third 8 notes. Listen. Again. So we just go one note up and down to the same note. Now, the third opportunity we have comes in measure 5. We have a quarter 8/8 quarter 8/8 rhythm. Listen. How about we add a note at the end of the quarter notes? For the first one, this is D. Let's see what I'm doing. So kind of at the end of that quarter note, I add a little upper note to it and then I go back to the melody that I'm playing. Again, right hand is not doing anything special and just the left hand will take care of the embellishments. Now, Something cool that we can do in measure 10, we are playing something like this. How about we add a little bit of a slide or glissando to that note A, the fourth finger that we're using. Listen. It's very simple, but it adds a little bit of flavor. To do it, you kind of just pull back your fourth finger, but make sure you get ready for the next measure, first finger on A string. Now, the bonus one, we are doing the same thing in measure 11. We can do the same thing that we did in the first measure. It was this one. Here, this is the climax of the song. Sounds like this. How about we add that turn to the second B that we play? Again. Now, it would be very cool that we play the note C. That way, it's kind of, we don't have the note C in the whole song. And that would be something special, and the audience will hear the difference. Let's practice some of these embellishments together. The first one in the first measure is just the turn. We go one note up to G and we come back, and then we go to the next quarter note. Let's practice this. Let's check our bow hold. Make sure everything is curved and relaxed. The violin is parallel to the floor. The thumb is very relaxed, and your left hand looks like a waterfall. Nice. Let's put the bow down on the D string, second finger and first finger on D string. Ready? Let's play it original, the first measure, and then we add the embellishment. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Nice. Now, let's play it with the embellishment. I'll bring my violin down that you can see. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Nice. Let's do it one more time. Make sure your right hand is not doing anything out of ordinary. It's just following the same pattern of the melody. Just the left hand will do the embellishment. Ready? 3, 4, rest. Very nice. Now the second measure, we have those 4/8 notes. Let's practice those and then see if we can do 1 and 2 together. Ready? Bow on the string. 1, original. 2, 3, 4. Nice. Now let's add that grace note to the second E we play, the third 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very quick. 3, 4. Nice. Now let's practice first and second measure together. Bow on the string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Excellent job. Now let's practice measure 5. We are playing quarter 8/8 quarter 8/8. Now we're going to add one note to the end of the quarter note. So it's basically we're turning a quarter note to a dotted 8 note followed by a 16 note. This is the quarter note, and these are the 16 notes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to turn it to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? All right, so let's play the original. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's add the grace note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Again, your right hand is not doing anything special. It's just the left hand which takes care of the embellishment. Now, let's practice measure 10. This one is the fun one. It's the one that we do a slide down. So let's actually play the two notes, A, fourth finger on D string, and then D open. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So make sure the D, the second note, is a little bit softer. It should sound like a sigh or something like this. Ready? 1, 2. Now, while you're playing the A, I want you to pull back your fourth finger with your third finger. Okay? 1, 2. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. So when you play that measure, let's practice this together. This is measure 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull back. Excellent job. It's so fun to practice and add these embellishments. It brings out the character in this beautiful song. See if you can come up with your own embellishments and kind of insert a little bit of yourself in this song. Performers of Arabic music usually know how to improvise. Much of Arabic music is characterized by an emphasis on melody and rhythm. In Arabic music, the improvisation is normally based on the melody and on the maqam of a piece or a song. You can come up with a couple little phrases on your own and try to play them after each other. Just know that repetition and silence are your friends. So let me show you how you can come up with your own phrases. We learned maqam ajam, and it sounds like this. Remember, we started on note D. Now, I want to make a phrase from it. I like to start from the note A. I play that and then I like to add B to it. Then go back to A. Like to do it again. How about a little silence? Now I like to play A, B, and C sharp. I like to repeat it, but this time quietly. Now B, A. Silence. How about I go to F sharp on D string and play long? Let's add G. Again, F sharp and G. Now I like to finish by going down to the note D quickly. Now I like to play The Sun Rises. See, give it a try, and when you start, keep it simple and short. Have fun improvising. Way to go! You learn an Egyptian song, The Sun Rises. We dressed it up with some simple embellishments and learned maqam ajam. Maybe when you learn the song, you can add something extra to it and make it your own. Congratulations.